Hi, Sky. Just want to make sure you can hear us. Are we coming through? Are we? I don't know if I see it. Oh, wait, yeah. I think we are. Yes, I see us coming through. I'm not sure if Sky can hear us or not. So, okay. You can hear us? Got it.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just going to be here for 25 minutes or so, and I may come back in.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the audio test. So now we have nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Dietrich, weigh in?
Never got anything back. Eric said you never got anything back.
You didn't hear from him? Nope. Chocolate, dark chocolate, no chocolate. That's all we just poured up for it.
I'll call this meeting of the Board Operations Committee to order at 7 PM. So Andy, call the roll. Andy,
Present.
Dennis,
Here.
Reg, Chris.
Here.
And I am here. The OC meeting is being recorded but not being live streamed. Can I get approval to move the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion by Andy, seconded by Dennis. Are there any objections to the objection? Are there any objections to the agenda? Seeing no objections, the agenda is so moved. I don't believe we've got any residents speak out. Seeing no residents, for residents speak out, there is no resident speak out. The approval of the February 26th Board Operation Committee minutes are approved by consent. Administrative items. Do we have any administrative items we wanted to go over?
No.
There are no administrative items, so that gets us into the main agenda. So Chris, the way this works is that we've got 4 agendas for the rest of the year: March 14th, March 28th, April 11th, and April 25th. So this is basically our opportunity to shape the agenda for the rest of the year. So the next 2 months. With that, can I get a motion to approve the agendas? All 4 agendas.
I have one change.
I think, yeah, there's a couple changes.
All right.
All right, I'll move we approve.
Right, move it first, right?
Yeah, so-
Second.
I'll move we approve all the agendas.
Okay, so Andy moves, I don't have a scorecard, but. Andy moves, Dennis seconds to approve the 4 agendas that are in the packet. Are there any discussion on the agendas? So here's where we have an opportunity to make changes. And the reason why I did this way is because a lot of times changes will go through several agendas. So if you make a change to one agenda, that'll cascade across agendas. So if you want to add an item to agenda 1, that might require a board vote on agenda 2. So if we do it all together, we can basically have a motion to approve the agendas and then make changes which might cascade. So I believe the first person to request a amendment was Dennis.
On the March 28th agenda, I'd like to add, Don Van Dusen is retiring.
Okay,
He is the officer that represents us for the liquor license,
okay,
and we'll need to vote someone in. The county manages that process in March,
okay,
so it's important we do it in March.
okay.
And think we'll have to take Don off the rolls, so to speak, vote him off, and then vote the new person in.
Okay, that's a, so that's done, okay, so we'll need to replace, he's the current secretary?
Yes.
Yes. So, assistant secretary, so we'll need to, add, you want to do on the 28th?
Correct.
So we got a motion by Dennis, I'll second it, to appoint a new secretary
Assistant secretary.
or assistant secretary.
So this morning, he said to move forward.
Oh.
Is there a nominee that's been selected?
Yeah. Not yet. We'll have someone by the middle of the month. We're
Okay,
interviewing now.
okay. Are there any objections to the amendment?
No, fine.
Seeing no objections, we'll put a vote for the assistant secretary for 5 minutes under board votes on the March 28th agenda. Are there any more adjustments to the agenda any more
Just one more, just a question, actually, probably for John. Do we need another discussion on sunsetting policies, or can we just go right to a vote?
I think you probably do need, because it's changing the way.
All right, I'd like to add just under the March 14th. CA policies number 4, sunset policies, and just give it 5 minutes.
if it's a discussion, I think it's going to take longer than 5 minutes. The last one took.
Okay.
I'll give it. I'd say at least 15. Well, we don't have much time, but I'd say at least 15.
All right.
Is it a discussion or is it just gonna be a vote saying,
It's just a discussion. There's no the vote wouldn't occur on the 14th. That's a work session.
it's a work session? Okay.
But the idea is that we would discuss sunsetting the policies on the 14th, and that would lead to a vote on the 28th.
Okay. And when do we vote on the new business, old business?
The new business, old business is right now is on a work session for the 14th.
14th.
It's
Yeah, I
on,
see it on the 14th, and then it would be a vote on the 28th.
no, I think it's then on a,
60.
it's
5th.
It's on the 25th for a vote, and
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to figure out where the third. I guess that's the second.
I mean, this
would be
past
the-
meeting was the first, right? So
What?
that'd be the first. The 11th,
The 14th would be the second,
14th would be the second. So we could vote on that at the
the 28th.
28th.
We could move new business, old business from April to March. So that's certainly feasible.
If there's, I mean, yeah, we could if there's time for that, right? Especially given when is the sunset policies? That's
It wouldn't that wouldn't affect this 15 minutes. It would affect March 28th meeting.
okay. Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't move old business, new business vote to the 28th of March. My apologies if I'm not bringing that up in the right order.
Yeah, so first thing we want to do is add the sunset policy. We got a motion by Andy. Was that seconded to add the sunset policy the motion by Andy, seconded by Dennis to add 15 minutes to the March 14th agenda for discussing the sunset policy. Are there any objections to the amendment to add the sunsets policy to the March 14th work session for 15 minutes? Seeing no objections, that's been added to the motion. Now we can do the new business, old business. So Chris, would you like to move to the vote on new business, old business from the April 28th agenda to the April 20th agenda to the March 28th agenda?
I make a motion to relocate the old business, new business to the March 28th agenda
Under board votes.
under board votes.
You can comment.
If we do that, I don't think we have enough time allotted under, there were some, we talked about this on Friday. And some fairly significant changes to what Bill has proposed would be part of the discussion on the 14th. I don't think 15 minutes is enough for what we had talked about on Friday in terms of the number of meetings.
Well, this would be there's a discussion on the 14th about it. So the discussion would be mostly on the 14th.
Right, in 15 minutes. I mean, I'm just not sure that 15 minutes is enough time.
Well, the problem is there's no other discussion anyway. So if it's not enough time, we don't have enough time in this agenda, in this packet of agendas right now. So,
I'm okay leaving it where it is, but if that conversation on the 14th rolls into the 28th, in reality, that's going to be not just a vote, but probably more discussion or as much discussion on the 28th. How much time are you allotting for that?
well, right now it's the vote in April is 10 minutes.
Do we have enough time on the 28th to make it 30? When is the meeting at 10?
I believe the meeting ends at 10. And not actually count this up. Under, yeah. Could you put in your microphone? I can barely hear you.
Sorry. Could you look at the April 11th work session agenda? And we have 60 minutes allocated for the strategic plan. We have 90 minutes for the SHA stream restoration evaluation. Would it be possible to carve out a little bit of time from those two topics? Maybe progress on the strategic plan, maybe change 60 to 50. And maybe for stream restoration, instead of 90 minutes, maybe make it 75. Would that be a possibility?
That pushes it, that still would push the vote back. It keeps the
That
vote,
would keep the vote on April 25th.
right.
That's
So if we want to have more discussion on it, is 75 minutes enough for the stream restoration discussion?
It'll have to be. So my question to you is, or do you think that we need more than 15 minutes on the 14th for the old business new business? And then because it's a material change in the way we run our meetings. I don't think 15 minutes is enough on the 14th. And then then we don't have, you really don't have the extra time on the 28th.
There's no time. Yeah, there's no extra time on the 28th.
I think that might be why it was pushed back until 25th.
Yeah, but there's no other, I guess my point is there's no further discussion on it beforehand. So,
You could add time.
so
into
if
the 11th.
we'd have to add time to the 11th. So if we added time to the 11th, so if we cut the stream restoration down by 15 minutes, I don't see where you're getting another 15 minutes out though.
So, taking 10 minutes off of the, it's 15 from the stream restoration and
10 from
from
the strategic plan.
right? It's 25. I don't, I would like to hear your thoughts in terms of timing.
My thoughts are the strategic plan usually takes an hour each time. That's my concern there.
I'm just thinking, your thoughts on the old business, new business.
Old business, new business, I think could certainly go a half an hour. I would be fine. I'm not sure what SHA is planning on presenting. I would be fine limiting that to 60 minutes. I mean, 90 minutes seems awful long for a.
Did they request 90 minutes? Did they make any request for time? I mean, the stream restoration is a gas. It will expand to fill whatever space it's given.
Oh, yeah, that's
Agreed.
that's the way that works. So
We can make that 60 and then just cut that back. But I mean, really, the reality is that if we're going to make major changes to the meeting program, meeting profile for the board, I think that's
I would prefer to, if we're gonna have a discussion on if we're gonna have a discussion on making those kind of changes, I would prefer to give it at least a half hour block.
I agree.
And I don't see why the stream restoration evaluation from SHA needs 90 minutes.
All right, with that being said, though, are you okay keeping the vote on the 25th
Well,
of April?
I'm not the point. We'd have to be okay with it.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. So basically, the idea of moving it up would be because it would be sort of a it'd be sort of a vote with no discussion for the last 2 months.
Right.
So if we didn't have any more discussion, yeah, I'd want to move the vote up next to the discussion. But if we're going to have discussion on it here, I would be fine. I would be fine moving it up there. I'd be fine adding half an hour here to taking half an hour from the SHA. And then adding 30 minutes for the meeting format, whole business, I'll just call it meeting format for now.
I agree.
Okay. So Chris, is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that case, could you?
So what's my, I need to know what the change, or
Uh,
do you want to make an amendment to the motion I made?
What I'd request you do is withdraw your original amendment and then make an amendment to add 30 minutes for discussion of the old business, new business format to April 11th.
All right, I withdraw my previous motion.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to add 30 minutes to the April 11th meeting to discuss the old business and new business model.
I'll second.
Okay, Andy seconds that. So we want to, so Chris moves, Andy seconds to add 30 minutes to April 11th for the meeting topic, the old business, new business format. Are there any objections to the amendment? Seeing no objections, the amendment passes. So
Jeremy has his hand up.
Jeremy, you have a question?
Yeah, I would just note that I think an hour would be fine for the stream restoration if that was an adjustment needed for the agenda.
Yeah, I can't see, once a meeting agenda item goes past an hour, it's you get diminishing returns pretty quickly.
Yeah. I agree. Let's drop it to 60 minutes.
Yeah, well, we already did. That's part of the motion. So we took care of the old business, new business. Got the purchasing policy. What Susan, so you got purchasing, we got purchasing policy on there. Do you know roughly what the purchasing policy changes are about? Are they, so they're on here for 20 minutes. Are they complex changes or straightforward changes?
Here on March 14th.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got 20 on 14. I got,
And then on the second reading, I got 28.
okay,
That's fine. And then the vote.
would be on the, at the end. The other thing we wanted to, the other thing we discussed was the changes to the 3 meeting rule as part of the old business, new business format. Does that need to be its own agenda item, or can that just be part of the old business, new business agenda format.
So if it's part of the old business, new business program or plan, I think it just becomes part of that overall policy.
Okay, so could you add the, could we add the 3 meeting rule as sort of a sub bullet to anything that has old business, new business?
So what do you want to add to that again?
So under old business, new business, as a sub bullet, also look at the 3 meeting rule policy. Sky?
No.
What?
You can't do that.
You can't do that?
No, sir. No, you can't. The 3 reading rule is a separate policy from the April 2017 approved governance documents for the board. We're going to rename them operating procedures. Portions of the 3 reading rule are incorporated in those operating documents, but not the entire 3 reading rule. So if you wanted to change that, you would have to use the 3 reading rule for that. And there are several provisions in the special rules of order. They're actually about 3 pages. What you saw was just one small portion. So having worked with this before and with the previous general counsel, I would strongly suggest that Judge Kutchno, head up that effort to change that.
Well, right. Well, then what I suggest is that where we have new business, old business, we also add 3 per.
Yeah, that's the
Right,
idea that we can.
Because that would give us 3 times to talk about
Yeah.
it. Because you do it
throughout
on March
all of these-
14th.
Yeah,
throughout
right.
all
Yeah,
of
under new
these-
business, old business, include as part of that agenda item, a discussion of
As a separate agenda item.
as a separate agenda item.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that is
Have to.
that's the
Okay,
point.
okay,
Right.
that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. So I move to add every time there's new business, old business on any of these agendas, add a new agenda item for the 3 meeting rule. And we
I'll
can
second.
and we can split it half and half. Split the time between the 2. So it'll be discussed jointly because the 2 are related. Are there any, and that would come up for a vote at the April meeting on the 25th.
So Eric, I'm sorry, where are you getting the extra time?
We're taking it out of the new business, old business.
Just split the
Or
time.
split the
in
time,
half.
take half the time.
Okay, so on March 14th, you have new business, old business agenda format for 15 minutes.
Yeah, so
Are you
change-
shutting
let's
that back to
change that to 10 and then
7:45?
Let's do
change
10
it and 5, 10 for,
Yeah, let's go.
yeah, 10 for
Okay, 10 and 10.
10. So that'd be, so
Because I
move to,
think we'll
move
end
to
up
add,
talking about it at
and
the
move to
same
add 10 minutes for the 3 meeting rule under 4B4. That would become 4B4 on March 14th. And then under
Well, it's gonna be 4B5 because I think that as 4, you've added to sunset the outdated policies.
Well, let's make that the last one. Let's put the 3 reading rule directly under
directly
new
under,
business, old
yes.
business, so we have it.
yeah, they should
Because we're
be,
gonna end up talking about it at the same
Yes.
time.
Okay,
so the sunsetting would become 5.
right.
And then in April 11th, we take the 30 minutes and from the old business, new business, and that becomes 15 and 15. 15 minutes for old business, new business, and 15 minutes for the 3 meeting rule.
Okay.
And then for the April 25th, we add 5 minutes for the 3 meeting rule. For 6E.
6E right now, according to some discussions that took place last week, would be a vote on the easement policy.
That would become 6F.
Take that out?
No, that becomes 6F,
That would become 6F,
yes.
okay? And 6E becomes the, okay, 3 reading.
Three reading. So any objections to adding the 3 reading rule across the 3 agendas as noted?
No,
Seeing none, I moved to, Andy moved, I seconded, we had the 3 meeting rule. So the last thing to look at is the easement policy. So we got 45 minutes on the March 14th agenda. We've got 30 minutes on the 28th. And then that comes up, and then we need to add a vote on that for the April 25th. So I moved to add under 6F, vote on the easement policy for 5 minutes.
I second.
Any objections? Seeing no objections, I moved, Andy seconded, 6F under 425 is a vote on the easement policy.
All right, can I just go over one thing with you?
Sure.
So on March 14th. Now, we started with 45 minutes for discussion on CA's easement policy. I thought that got backed down to 30 minutes in order for us to get that 15 minutes to talk about
That sounds good.
sunsetting the outdated policies.
Okay.
Is that consistent?
That's okay.
That's
Okay,
that's
thank
fine.
you. Okay,
Yeah, we can
thank
make,
you so
we,
much.
we can make that 30 minutes. I'll take that as a friendly amendment.
If there's nothing else, I'll call the question on the agenda.
Chris, Scott, you had your hand up a little bit ago. Chris, anything else?
No,
Okay, anything else?
No.
Anything else, Andy?
No.
Okay, seeing no further questions or comments. Jen, is there anything else you would have before I call a question on this?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll call the question on the motion to approve the agendas. Andy,
Yes,
Dennis,
I'm
Yes.
sorry,
What?
so on March 28th, 7A says CA's easement policy under board vote, is that not
No.
correct?
went
no,
down
that needs to be moved to
discussion.
discussion.
Okay,
And the vote on that would be
Twenty-fifth.
the 20 at the end, 25th.
okay.
Do you have that change, Janet?
So we're taking that 30 minutes and putting in CA's easement policy under board discussion.
Yeah.
For that 30.
Yeah, so that just drops down.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Any other comments? I'll call the question on the agendas. Andy,
Yes,
Dennis.
Yes.
Who's not here, Chris?
yes,
I vote yes, the agenda is passed. You get a motion to adjourn.
move adjourn.
Second.
Any objections to adjourning? Meeting's adjourned at 7:25. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Wow.
thanks, everybody.
All set?
I don't know what to do.
Sit here for a while.
We were efficient.
Yeah.
I remember when we had these VOC meetings that would last like 3 hours.
I know. Oh, we want to get back to that.
Well, actually, having all the agendas moved at the same time
Right,
made it really efficient.
yes, it did.
'Cause I
And
mean,
we ended up talking, if you look back, we ended up talking about all of them anyway.
yeah,
Anytime we make moves, like, oh, yeah. we
Yeah,
should-
but-
Yeah,
but when you
Yeah.
change the first one, then you have to go back and
Right.
rechange the motion, so it's a lot easier to do it this way.
all right.
Okay, we're done. Is there a football game on? Fastest thing I've ever-